Hey lovely people of the internet, so today's video is a very nice suggestion from someone else on my last Disney sorted video. So this time I'm doing Toy Story. Maybe quite a long one because I have decided to include quite a lot of characters from all three films, so let's get started. Firstly, the main character, Woody. I went for Gryffindor. I think that's probably because of his adventurousness / recklessness sometimes, and the fact that he can be quite stubborn but is ultimately quite brave, I think. Next up, the other main character, Buzz. Again, I went with Gryffindor just because he is quite brave and stubborn and will take risks, but there was a part of me that almost wanted to say Hufflepuff just because of when he first arrives. It's his naivety. I almost think that almost it's a little bit of a Hufflepuff trait, and he has sometimes that goofiness when he's with Jessie. Mr. Potato Head, ultimately Gryffindor, because I do think he is brave and he wants to help the other toys and sort of, yeah, when there's something that needs to be sorted, he's quite involved. But there was a big part of me that thought Slytherin just because of how ruthless he was when they think that Woody has betrayed Buzz. I think he's like one of the first one to be like, that's it, done. And it was the first to like be so judgmental, so yeah, a little bit of Slytherin in there. Mrs. Potato Head, I think Hufflepuff, just because she's really caring and she's just got a really big heart, and I think that just makes her a really good Hufflepuff. Slinky, I think he would be a Hufflepuff, again because he's so caring and he has such a big heart and he's one of like the more soft-spoken characters, but I definitely think there is a little bit of Hufflepuff, a little bit of Gryffindor in there because he is definitely brave. Rex is another Hufflepuff in my opinion. I think it's just like his goofiness and his ability to see sort of like the best in people most of the time. He's always quite positive, so yeah, I think he's a Hufflepuff. Ham, I think, is probably a Gryffindor. I kind of struggle to exactly identify why, but I think, yeah, maybe sort of his risk-taking, adventurous attitude, yeah. Bo Peep, I think, is a Hufflepuff. I think she's really caring. Again, she's a bit like Rex. I think she generally sees like the best in people and she has a positive outlook on most situations. You can find like the positive spin. Andy himself, I had to include Andy and his mum. Andy, I think, is a Gryffindor. Again, he's quite brave. He likes that adventure. Yeah, and he's quite protective. And then Andy's mum, I think, is probably a Hufflepuff, just because of the way that she cares for her children. Yeah. Sid is the first villain that I decided to try and sort, and again ultimately I think Slytherin because he does have that sort of ruthless attitude with the toys, but I do think there's a little bit of Hufflepuff, especially at the end when he is scared by the toys. Hannah, Sid's younger sister, I think is a Hufflepuff just because of the way that she reacts with her toys, and she's just, yeah, really sweet and kind-hearted. Sergeant, I think, is a Gryffindor because he's brave. Wheezy, I think, is a Hufflepuff because again he's got such a sweet nature and he's so nice. The toy aliens, they are a mix, I think, for me between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff because they're quite brave but then they're quite sweet-hearted, maybe a little bit naive, innocent, yeah. And again, the mutant toys, I think, are a mix between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff, actually, because they are actually quite brave in how they help Woody and Buzz. And they're also really sweet-natured in the fact that they help each of the broken toys to, like, repair themselves. RC, I think, is a Gryffindor because he is super brave and is completely willing to help Woody and Buzz when they need him. Etch, Mr. Spell, and Lenny the Binoculars, I think, are Ravenclaws, definitely. Jessie is a Gryffindor. Definitely the most overriding trait with Jessie is that she's very brave and very adventurous and likes to get stuck in. Stinky Pete, unfortunately, I couldn't put him anywhere other than Slytherin. He is just very, very ruthless, I think. Al, I'm not entirely sure. He is a villain in Toy Story films that I would necessarily make a Slytherin outright because I'm not sure he's really trying to be ruthless or vindictive in any way. He's just sort of, he just wants to make money. He doesn't realise that the toys have feelings and maybe don't want to do what he wants to do with them. So I wonder if it's almost, he's actually a little bit of a Hufflepuff because he's quite naive. Zerg, again, I think is another Slytherin. That's his main motivation. That's his main motivation, is his ruthlessness and sort of cunning. Yeah, I think Bullseye is a Hufflepuff. He is super, super sweet and loving, but there is definitely a bit of Gryffindor bravery in him. Finally, we are on to the Toy Story 3 specific characters. It's quite a lot, so some I have kind of grouped together for ease. Lotso himself is a villain that I have to put in Slytherin. He is, yeah, very ruthless. He's got that one-track mind of that he feels like he was treated badly, and so now he's got this mindset that he can't be turned away from. Ken has definitely got to be a Hufflepuff. He's just too sort of sweet for his own good. He's quite easily swayed, even though I don't think he realises that it's not for a good reason. Barbie, on the other hand, would definitely be a Gryffindor. The minute that she thinks things are being done wrong, she knows that she needs to do something about it. Lotso's main sidekicks, Big Baby, Twitch, Stretch, Chunk and Sparks, I think are ultimately Slytherins, but I do think they are swayed by Lotso and what Lotso has told them and made them believe, and they do in the end do the right thing when they realise what Lotso is actually about. So I think they're Slytherins, but they're good Slytherins. I don't think they're really, really evil. I don't think all Slytherins have to be evil. The Cymbal Monkey, however, is definitely an evil Slytherin. He's just pure nasty. I don't like that character. The Chatter Telephone, I think he's a little bit Ravenclaw, but a little bit Gryffindor as well, because he's got a bravery aspect and he tries to help Woody and the other toys. The Bookworm is definitely a Ravenclaw. Lastly, we are on to Bonnie and Bonnie's toys. So first up is Chuckles. I think that he is a little bit Slytherin, little bit Gryffindor. I think he's a little bit Slytherin because I think he's got a little bit of that ruthlessness, but then I think he's Gryffindor because he does have that overarching bravery and wanting to do the right thing attitude. Dolly, I think, is probably a Hufflepuff because she's super sweet. Mr. Pricklepants, I think for some reason, I definitely think he's a Ravenclaw. I think it's, yeah, it's his dramatic sort of thespian Shakespearean nature. Trixie is definitely a Hufflepuff in the exact same way as Rex. Buttercup is also a Hufflepuff in my opinion because, yeah, super sweet, super innocent. And the same goes, I think, for the peas in a pod. And lastly, Bonnie, I think that she is a Hufflepuff because of her super sweet nature, but I think she definitely has the potential to be a Gryffindor because she's got that brave, adventurous aspect to her. So that is the end of my super long list of Toy Story characters sorted into Hogwarts houses. Let me know down in the comments below where you would have sorted them, what you thought of where I sorted them. As this was a suggestion, if you've got any further suggestions for future ones of these that I might do, let me know. If you haven't already, do hit that subscribe button, and if you enjoyed, do hit that thumbs up button. I'll put some links here for some other videos that you might like because you watched this one, and I'll see you in my next one. See ya!